Children, welcome to my second class and part 2 of 3 questions by Leo Tolstoy. Let's do a quick recap. 3 questions is a story by the Russian author Leo Tolstoy. The main character in the story is a king who seeks answer for his 3 questions. They are: what is the right time to begin something? What is the most important thing to do? And which people should I listen to? He seeks the help of a wise sage, but he hasn't had any luck so far. And while they were talking, a man came running towards them, and one of them fell down with blood gushing from his stomach. Who was that? But before we learn that, let's quickly learn the meanings of 6 new words. Learning their meanings first would help us understand the story better. Our first word today is beard. Beard. Beard is hair that grows on the chin. Then, how do you call the hair that grows above the upper lip? It is called moustache. Moustache. Some tends to pronounce it as mustache, but that's wrong. It's moustache. In American English, it's pronounced as mustache. Mustache. But since we follow British English, let's pronounce it like the British do. Moustache. Repeat after me. Beard. Beard. Moustache. Moustache. Our second word is revenge. Revenge means trying to hurt someone as punishment because they had hurt us first. Then there is this word seize, which means grab or take something suddenly. And then dress a wound. Dress a wound means to clean and bandage a wound. And then faithful means to be loyal and truthful. Then make peace means to re-establish friendship, to become friends with a person after a misunderstanding or enmity. That is to make peace. The king and the sage were talking. Since the sage did not give any reply to the king's questions, the king was telling him, "Oh, wise sage, I have traveled such a long distance to come and meet you to get answers to my questions. But please, if you cannot tell me the answers, then say so that I can go back." But when the king was talking, the sage was not listening. He was looking elsewhere. He was looking at a man who was running towards them. The man ran towards the king and then he fell down the floor with his hands pressed to his stomach. Blood was rushing from the stomach because he was wounded. The king acted quickly and said to the sage, "Please give me a bowl of water, respected sage. We have to dress his wounds and save him." The sage rushed into his hut and brought a bowl of water. The king and the sage removed the man's dress and saw that there was a big cut on his stomach. The king washed it with water and bandaged it tightly with his handkerchief. But the blood flow did not stop. So he removed the bandage and redressed it again and again and again until the bleeding stopped. The man looked so tired and he asked for some water. The king quickly brought him some fresh water. He drank it and after some time he fainted. The king and the sage carried him inside the hut and made him to lay on a cot to rest. But by then it was too late and the king was too tired from traveling for a long distance and working all day and then helping this man. So he was so tired, so he lay down on the floor and he went to sleep. The king was too tired and he slept well, and it was several hours before he woke. It was almost morning. At first the king could not understand where he was or who was that man who was lying beside him, who looked very hurt. Only after a while the king remembered that he was in the sage's hut and that they had helped this wounded man yesterday. When the man found that when the man saw that the king was awake, he said to the king, "O king, forgive me." The king said, "You have done nothing wrong. I don't even know you. Why are you saying sorry to me? Why are you asking for my forgiveness?" And then the man said, "King, you may not know me, but I know you. I know that you are the king. I even knew that you were coming yesterday to meet the hermit." The king was surprised. "How did you know that?" he asked. The man said to the king, "King, actually we are enemies. Not long ago you killed my brother and seized my property. You took away all our properties. I was so angry and I wanted to take revenge on you. Because you hurt me first, I wanted to hurt you back. So yesterday I knew that you were coming to meet the hermit, and so I was hiding in the bushes waiting for you to come back. I planned to kill you on your way back." Imagine how shocked the king must be. And the king asked him, then what happened? How were you hurt?" And he said, "Since you did not come back for a long time, I came out of my hiding place. Your guard immediately recognized me and he shot me. Somehow I managed to escape and I ran from there. But if you hadn't treated me yesterday, if you hadn't helped me yesterday, I would have bled to death. I planned to kill you and you saved my life. Dear king, I ask for your forgiveness. If I live, my sons and I will be your loyal servants till the end of our lives." On hearing the confession of this wounded man, the king was so happy. The king was happy to re-establish friendship with this man. He said, "I am glad to have become friends with you. I will give you your property back. I will also send my doctor and servants to look after you." See how nice this king is. Even though this man wanted to kill him, the king is not angry. He is happy to have become friends with his enemy, and he even offers to help the man. That's so nice of him, right? Can we be as forgiving as this king? And now it was time for the king to go back to his palace. Everybody would be looking for him, right? But before he went, he wished to get answers for his questions and he decided to try one more time. So he went to the sage. The sage was working in his garden. He was sowing seeds in the flower beds that they dug yesterday. Do you remember that they were digging the ground yesterday? They were preparing it for the garden. And flower bed or in a garden means a piece of land which is plowed and manured and prepared for growing plants. And this sage was sowing seeds in the flower beds that they had dug yesterday. The king went to him and said, "Guruji, it's time for me to go. I beg you to answer my questions." And surprisingly, the sage said, "Your questions have been answered." The king was so confused. He was very sure that the sage did not give him any answer yesterday. So he says, "What do you mean?" And then he started explaining. The sage asked the king, "What would have happened if you had not pitied me and helped me yesterday?" And the king said, "If I had not helped you, obviously I would have gone back. And that man who was hiding in the bushes and waiting for me to come back would have killed me." Then the sage said, "Yes. So yesterday, the most important time was when you were helping me. When you were digging the ground, when you were digging the beds. The most important person was me. And your most important business was to help me. Only because you did all that, you are alive now. If you had gone back, you would have wished that you had stayed back and helped me. You would have regretted going back." The king now understood a little bit. And the sage continued to explain. You see, the most important time is now, the present. Have you heard of this quote, children? Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift of God, which is why we call it the present. So the sage said, the most important time is now. Because only now we have the power to do something. Only now we have the power to act. And the most important person is the one who is with you now. And the most important thing that you have to do is to do good for that person. Because we don't know what is going to happen in the future. We don't know whether we will meet any more good people in our life. So what we have to do now is to do good to the people who are with us now. And the sage concluded that we have been sent to this earth only for that purpose. Have you ever wondered why did God put us in this world? Why did God create us? What is the purpose of our life? Have you ever wondered that? And here the sage is giving answer to that question. He's not only answering the king's question, he's also answering our question. What is our purpose? What is the purpose of our life on earth? The sage says, we have only one purpose, that is to do good for others. Do you like this story, children? Did you enjoy it as much as I did? That's lovely to hear. Now, let's read the passages that we have learned so far. The king turned round and saw a bearded man running towards them. His hands were pressed against his stomach, from which blood was flowing. When he reached the king, he fainted and fell to the ground. The king and the hermit removed the man's clothing and found a large wound in his stomach. The king washed and covered it with his handkerchief. But the blood would not stop flowing. The king redressed the wound until at last the bleeding stopped. The man felt better and asked for something to drink. The king brought fresh water and gave it to him. By this time, the sun had set and the air was cold. The king, with the hermit's help, carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him on the bed. The man closed his eyes and lay quiet. The king, tired by his walk and the work he had done, lay down on the floor and slept through the night. When he awoke, it was several minutes before he could remember where he was or who the strange bearded man lying on the bed was. "Forgive me," said the bearded man in a weak voice, when he saw that the king was awake. "I do not know you and have nothing to forgive you for," said the king. "You do not know me, but I know you. I am that enemy of yours who swore revenge on you because you put my brother to death and seized by force my property. I know You had gone alone to see that hermit, and I made up my mind to kill you on your way home. But the day passed, and you did not return. So I left my hiding place, and I came upon your bodyguard, who recognized me and wounded me. I escaped from him, but I should have died if you had not dressed my wounds. I wished to kill you, and you have saved my life. Now, if I live, I will serve you as your most faithful servant and will order my sons to do the same. Forgive me. The king was very happy to have made peace with his enemy so easily and to have won him over as a friend. He not only forgave him but said he would send his servant and his own doctor to look after him, and he promised to give back the man his property. Leaving the wounded man, the king went out of the hut and looked for the hermit. Before going away, he wished once more to get answers to his question. The hermit was on his knees, sowing seeds in the beds that had been dug the day before. The king went up to the hermit and said, "For the last time, I beg you to answer my questions, wise man. You have already been answered," said the hermit, still bending down to the ground. "How have I been answered? What do you mean?" "Do you not see?" replied the hermit. "If you had not pitied my weakness yesterday and had not dug the beds for me, you would have gone away. Then that man would have attacked you, and you would have wished you had stayed with me. So, the most important time was when you were digging the beds, and I was the most important man. And to do me good was your most important business. Afterwards, when the man ran to us, the most important time was when you were caring for him. Because if you had not dressed his wounds, he would have died without having made peace with you. So, he was the most important man. And what you did for him was your most important business. Remember then, there is only one time that is important, and that time is now. It is the most important time because it is the only time we have any power to act. The most necessary person is the person you are with at a particular moment. For no one knows what will happen in the future and whether we will meet anyone else. The most important business is to do that person good because we were sent into this world for that purpose alone. Children, thank you so much for patiently listening to my class. I have one request. Please post your constructive criticism and suggestions in the comment sections below because I'm constantly looking for ways to improve my teaching, and I strongly believe you can help me to do that by telling me what changes I should make or what changes you would love for me to make. After I post my videos, more than checking out how many likes or views I got, I'm always more excited to check out the comments because I love hearing from my students. Also, if you want me to teach any lesson from your syllabus, please tell me in the comment section below. I will do that for you. Until next time then, bye bye. Love you all.